What's up, YouTube? Derbador Weldor here. Guys, I'm sorry, I've been so busy lately. I hate to just leave y'all in the dark and all that shit. But look at this! It's becoming more of a house. I mean, look at this. You know, my wife's done an awesome job staining all the wood and everything. You know, it's fantastic in here now. What? So, the Derba house almost done. Look at that. Kitchen table. Got some flooring back here. That's what's up. I just looked and I have 1,000 subscribers. What? I started this channel almost a year ago. I never expected in a year and 2-3 months I'd have 1,000 subscribers. That's just insane. So we're gonna go over some things. My last video was about this troll that went way too far, and I finally have evidence that it's a troll. This guy, okay, this guy here, Chronic Soljan, Solja, or however you say it, Chronic Solja, as I believe how you're supposed to say it. That's his screen name. I finally have evidence that he's a troll. I got into an argument with somebody on my video that me and Noah did. It was having fun with big welding electrodes. You know, we were just screwing around and shit. This dude lost his mind over it and just said a whole bunch of nasty stuff. And he was actually replying to a comment that a guy named Adam Walsh left, who was like, hey, you know, I burned those 3/16 rods, you know, hotter. That's just too cold. And a little bit, you know, debate, but it wasn't anything nasty. Me and Adam Walsh had a pretty good, you know, we were talking. We were being adults and everything. So that was no big deal. But this guy, Chronic Soljan, just shows up and starts saying bullshit. I mean, absolute bullshit. Oh, these guys are so dumb. I bet they never went through the apprenticeship program, and they aren't journeymen, and do-da-do, and they're so dumb, they probably think they can weld overhead of a 7024. And he had this whole thing about how we were welding straight over carbon deposits, which is not true. We did not weld over carbon deposits on those welds. They were scrap piece anyway. We were screwing around with Noah's engine drive and my new Champion Elite, seeing, you know, what could you do with it, right? So we're doing that. He just had to be a complete butthole and everything, you know. And me and him went back and forth at it. You know, this Chronic Soljan guy. We just went back and forth at it. I have a bad habit of, you know, people get on there and they're trolls and stuff. I was like, bam, 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 just right at him. And so it eventually got to the point where he just got so bad and so nasty. I was like, you know what? That's it. Blocked. I blocked him from my channel. This guy's now was blocked from my channel. Now, if you remember, all of a sudden, I got a fake bad review from a guy with the same exact username. It was the same guy. He left me a fake bad review on my business page, and I screenshotted all of his comments. I have evidence that this is a troll and not a customer. Alright? Google refuses to get back with me. They are ignoring me. Even though I have emailed them and tried to talk to them, and I've tried to call them on the phone, and they're like, oh, you'll have to email a person. Like, you stupid dothead. You're not listening to me. Did you email? It could be a month before they get back with you, because they review a lot of reviews. No, the truth of the matter is, you don't want to deal with it. Bunch of lazy fucks. Alright? They're a bunch of lazy fucks over at Google. What happens when, you know, your damn tech support is in another freaking country? You know, it's a bunch of bullshit. But if they ever do get back with me, I do have the evidence, alright? And I'm going to put pictures of all of it up here so everybody can see, okay? Which will probably be starting now. Alright, so now you guys seen the screenshots and everything. Now you see what I see. Alright? This dude is not a customer. Ever. Even though I went back to my customers and checked and everything, he's not a customer. This guy is a freaking troll from YouTube who has gone through and found my business page and is trying to ruin my business because he's a little prick. He's a little tiny dick prick who should be ran over with a car or some shit like that. You know, I hope a Chevy runs him over. God, I can't stand these kind of people. And the thing is, I have great people call me all the time and talk to me, you know, just great people who are subscribers. I got a guy in Texas I talked to. I got a guy from Washington State that I've been talking to, and I got a guy from Pennsylvania that called me not too long ago. I got these people that I talked to, and this is how I met Noah. If it wasn't for this, I would have never met Noah. And Noah is like a friend now. Alright, so if my channel was not so open like this, I would have never met these people. I would not have these great business contacts that I have right now. So everybody was like, oh, you gotta cut it back. I mean, yeah, I get that, I understand that. This is one bad incident out of 8 or 9 great contacts and great people I've met. So I really don't see, I just don't see this really good to cut back on. I mean, I get it. I get you guys are being awesome. I get you guys care. I understand that. But the good outweighs the bad. And we all have a bad habit of looking at the bad instead of looking at the good and seeing what good things came out of it. Because a lot of good things have come out of it, alright? So, I'm trying to focus on the good things. I'm done dealing with Google. They can go screw themselves. I don't care. My business page has not affected business. If anything, it's made business better because I have a whole lot of good reviews. So, thanks to my subscribers. So, really, if anything, it's helped business and not screwed it up, because y'all really came to my aid, and I really appreciate that, guys. I really, really appreciate that. But today, for 1,000 subscribers, or going back to my very first video, and I'm pretty sure and not everybody has seen this. This was my very, very, very first video, and this was literally the video of, you're literally watching me go from welding lawnmower decks into industrial welding. Like, I was welding lawnmower decks and silly stuff like that. I went from welding lawnmower decks and freaking Red Ryder wagons one day to doing industrial work on the roof of Walmart the next. And I was like, I gotta get this on video. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna go, and I'm gonna give some talking commentary bullshit, you know. If you want to watch it without my commentary and just watch the actual video, I'm going to leave the link to the original video without me talking in the background and all that, so you can see the actual video, you know, just as it was.
Alright guys, this is it. This was my very first job. As you can see, we rented a crane from old Edwards here. That's my old buddy Austin here. He's actually working for Edwards now, same people we rented the crane from. He's getting everything hooked up. So the deal was we didn't have long enough leads, right? And the general contractor, he was willing to rent us a crane. So I was like, yeah, let's go for it. So this is kind of dumb, I'll be honest. This whole thing was just kind of a dumb repair. It is, the AC unit stand was installed, and because it wasn't welded on all 4 sides, the post won't weld it on all 4 sides, they called us in to weld it on all 4 sides so it would meet D11. I can't get over the fact they, you know, it's right there by the pickup. That makes me giggle every time I see that. Look at that. There's Austin like a boss. I love you, Austin. No homo. Austin's really cool, dude. Crane operator from Edwards was super cool too. He was really cool about, you know, helping us along and teaching us, because most, you know, we didn't know. We've never rented a crane before, so he was really cool about teaching us what we had to do and how to hook everything up. So, you know, big shout out to Edwards. Your guys are absolutely fantastic. But you can see here, using the 7018s, what we did was, you can see how it's a piece of angle iron that makes the top where the AC unit sits. So what we did was we stuck shims up in there. That's what their engineer said we could do. Take a 1/4 inch shim, stick it in there, and then do 2 overhead welds like that I'm doing right there. And look at that, I still have a fixed shade helmet. I hadn't bought a nice helmet or anything like that. I'm still using a fixed shade helmet I bought at Ace Hardware, and we're running this is the Champion 145, guys. This literally before this I was welding on stupid shit. It was really dumb stuff. And you know, yeah, I know these welds aren't perfect, but they passed inspection. You know, there was no issues with it, because if there was issues with it, they would have called me. You You know, he was like, we need this done, we need it done right. He's like, if this ain't right, I'm gonna call you, you're gonna hear about it. So here we are picking up the machine back off the roof. And it's kind of funny, it's right there where it says pick up, lol. But you know, there were some people who were like, well, you just could have bought longer leads, right? Yeah, I could have bought longer leads, but you know, it would have been, you know, $500 in leads. But I have a general contractor who's willing to pay for a crane. You know, that's his loss, not mine. I made money. You know, he paid for the crane. I made enough to pay for me and all my employees. And the guy filming is actually, y'all probably know Perry from some of my other videos. This is Perry's son who's actually videotaping. This is Jonathan, Perry's son. You know, Austin worked for me for a while. Super cool dude. You know, there we are. We're putting it back on the Super Duty there. We had to take the bottles off. They wouldn't move it with the bottles. But, you know, it's kind of cool. This dude is so good. Look at that. He drops it perfect. He just drops it right back in place perfectly. And he didn't take out my cab either, which, you know, that was a plus. I don't like my cab getting taken out.
That was it. And basically, after that job, I had more industrial work from that company. And it just kept on going, you know, and then eventually they just stopped calling. And then I called them, like, hey, you know, what happened to this guy? Because I called them, I was actually calling to speak to the guy who was the project manager I was working for that company, and his number, you know, his, you know, you call in, it takes you to directory. I was trying to get through the directory to him, and his number won't there no more. So I just went to the person, I guess, running the switchboard or whatever, receptionist, and I was like, hey, you know, is so-and-so there? I can't find. She's like, oh, we fired him. I was like, well, okay. So, I guess the guy I was just working for got fired. Huh. That's a interesting turn of events. So, yeah, ever since, you know, they fired him, I didn't get any more work from him. So, you know, he was kind of my contact in the company. So, oh well, whatever happens, happens. And as y'all have seen, you know, it's been a lot more industrial work, bigger stuff, and stuff like that. So, what I'm trying to show you guys is, once you get the break, go for it, right? As a welder told, another welder, older guy told me, you know, if you're not, God sees you're not sitting on the can, drinking Mountain Dew and eating Doritos. You're out there working. If you're working, you're gonna get the work. All right, God's gonna give you that work if you're out there working. All right, and when you get that break, you go for it, and you go full speed once you get that break. And you get that break, you go full speed, and you will succeed. All right, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You get that break, you go full speed for it, and take everything you can. All right, because it will pay off. All right, so troll guy. Yeah, he's been blocked. He was blocked from my channel, and I guess he got pissed off about the fact he can't say any more bullshit about me on my channel, so he went and found my Google business page to say bullshit. So y'all have seen it. Y'all have seen the evidence. Y'all have seen what I've seen. You have seen the evidence. So the first screenshot, by the way, the very first one that's obviously taken as a computer screen, I took a picture of my phone. The reason he's not in there, he's only mentioned, is because I just took that so y'all could see what I said to him and what Adam Walsh said. And the reason his comments are not there is because he's blocked from my channel, and when you block someone from your channel, all their comments go away. Alright? I don't have any problem with Adam Walsh. Alright? Adam Walsh, you're seeing this, I don't have any issues with you. You know, we had cool, constructive debate. I don't want anybody thinking that there's an issue with Adam Walsh, because there isn't an issue with him. Alright? The issue is with Chronic Soldier. Right? He's the only blocked person on my channel. Alright? I don't normally go through blocking people on my channel, but, you know, he just went to such a point that I was like, yeah, you're just a fucking idiot. Blocked. Alright? So, there you go. It is what it is. That's just how it is, okay, guys? So, you know, it is what it is. I doubt I'm going to ever hear anything from Google. I think Google doesn't care about removing fake bad reviews. Some people said something about taking legal action against this guy and getting him for almost said defecation. Defamation. And it would cost so much money to track this guy down. It ain't worth it. You know, it's one of those things where it's not worth it. If I can't get Google to take it down, whatever. It really doesn't matter, you know. The whole fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, he's got to go face God for his stupid bullshit. So I ain't got nothing to worry about. Even though I would love to get a hold of this guy and give him the business myself and sue the shit out of him. You know, unless he's like somebody I know right here in town, which he isn't. Like, we all know he isn't because, you know, the evidence is right there. He's a troll. It's just not worth it. But I do appreciate y'all's support. I appreciate the ideas. But there's only so much. There's only so much that you know you can do. You can't do everything. You know, this guy. You know, he's probably some washed up asshole who, you know, he probably couldn't even pass a weld test himself, and I've passed several. So what the heck? You know, he sees, oh my god, it doesn't look like it's weld porn on Instagram. I mean, if you guys had seen the shit that passed the D11 test at my school, you'd be like, damn, I guess anyone can be a welder. So it just goes to prove the look really doesn't mean anything. And we found that out real quick at school when we started cutting stuff open and doing bend tests. We're like, oh my goodness, this passed? How did this pass? Cover looks like shit, you know, but you bend it and it's clean. It's amazing. But that it is what it is, guys. I mean, I'm not speaking out my ass when I say this stuff. I have the experience of seeing this, and I can tell you, just because it's a pretty weld doesn't mean it's a good weld, alright? Jody from Welding Tips and Tricks did a really good video about, you know, just because it's a pretty weld doesn't mean it's a good weld. He was using TIG, and he was showing you how, you know, you have a nice pretty weld, but it has no fusion and anything like that. So really what you're looking for when you're welding is you're looking to see it bite in there and fuse versus getting that nice pretty cover. That's why, yeah, I have some stuff that kind of looks like crap every once in a while, and I go, god, I hate this, you know, but it holds, and it holds up forever, and it holds up longer than most people's stuff, because I'm not welding necessarily to get that perfect cover, even though, yeah, you try to weld to get that perfect cover, but you're really looking to see it melt in there and grab your root on your first pass, and then your second pass you're grabbing those edges and mixing all three together. Or if you're just, you know, it's only something you can get one pass on, you're trying to get everything at once, and you know, yeah, it might need a little ding 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 with the chip and hammer sometimes to come off. You know, I don't like having to do that, but sometimes that's just how it is. You know, I've seen some structural work that they're going through and they're doing mag die test on, and it's all good, and I'm just like, okay, whatever you guys say. So really, once you get out there and you start dealing with testing and stuff like that, then you realize, okay, this is the actual standard. The actual standard is it fused in there? Especially bend test, is it fused in there, and are you running hot enough to grab everything together? But x-ray test, it's really a matter of not getting any inclusions. Are you running hot enough not to get any inclusions from slag or porosity and whatnot? Because x-ray is just looking in there to see what's there. They're really not going to see a lack of fusion. Only a bend test is going to really show you a crack opening from a lack of fusion. What's the next one? Mag die test is only going to show you things like cracks and excess undercut and things like that. And it's all debatable on, so it's going to differ on every job what is acceptable and what isn't. I've only had one job where my work was mag die tested, and that was a piece of chiller pipe I welded, and of course it passed, you know. Woo! Actually, I was like, because I won't expect you to check it. I was just like, all right, we'll do really good. And then, you know, the guy comes over with the stuff and throws it on there and starts running over, and I'm like, uh-oh. But, you know, it passed. And, you know, it might not have had the nice, pretty stack of dimes look, but you can actually go back and find it on my Instagram. It might not have had the pretty stack of dimes look, but it had no cracks and no undercut whatsoever. So it passed, and that's what they needed. And to this day, as far as I know, that piece is in service. I called them like 3 months after. It's like, hey, you happy with my work and all that? Like, oh yeah, the piece is still in service. It's doing great. Wait, and stuff like that. So, right there you go. All right. So for those of you who are wondering what my certifications are, I am AWS D11 certified, which is the 1 inch plate in the 3G vertical up position, if I remember my G's correctly. 3G vertical up, and that plate was X-rayed. So I am X-ray certified in D11 structural welding to an unlimited thickness. I also have Vance Granville Community College's equivalent of the D15 sheet metal test for MIG, open root MIG on 14 gauge, and that gives me up to 3/16 down to like 20 gauge or something. I'll have to go back and look at what exactly it says. But those are the 2 certifications I hold right now. I want to eventually get the D15 sheet metal overhead TIG weld test that Justin's had on the Fabricator series. If you guys follow him, that's one I'm going to go for here soon, but it's not really much of a priority. It's it's not even a need either, because they just want to see it. People just want to see a piece of paper. But for me, it's kind of a personal thing. I want to have a TIG welding certification of some sort. I want to be able to TIG weld good enough to where I can pass a test. And that's kind of a thing for me, and I really believe in continuing education. I believe in, let's continue and build our skill and be better welders and constantly be building our skills and looking for the next test and the next obstacle to overcome to just be better at your trade. So that's why I'm looking to do that test, not necessarily because I need it, because I really don't need it, but because it's the next thing. It's the next thing to pass to be a better welder, in my own opinion. And it's really one of those things that probably I'm the only person that cares about it. I'll probably never use it. I'll probably never show it to an employer, because everything I'm doing is really rooted around D11. So everything else is, the pipe thing, the pipe welding. I don't know if I'll ever get it together for a API 6010. That'll probably be the one I would take. Would be a API 6010 downhill. Would be the one I would take if I was going for a pipe, because that's the only real pipe test I had to ever pass was a 6010 downhill. It's the only one that really passed the bend test that I feel confident I could do again and again. I did have a couple 6010 root hot and 7018 filling cap. I did have a couple of those pass a bend test when I was in school, but they didn't certify you for that at school. They're just like, oh yeah, cool, you can weld good enough to go to the next semester, which is where you're going to actually certify this. And I didn't, because I didn't feel like driving an hour to the main campus. I was actually taking classes at the satellite campus. So if anything I'm going to do is I'm going to practice myself to get the API 6010, whatever the hell that test is called. I'm sure there's a number for it, but it's the API pipe welding test, 6010 all the way out. And I got my friend Russ, who who is more than willing to help teach me to get to that point. He actually gave me a whole bunch of 6010s. Like, here you go. I told him what I was planning on doing. He's like, goes to his truck, grabs a handful of 6010 5P plus, and like, here you go, some 332. Here's some 1/8 inch. You have any questions? Call me. Super cool dude. I love working with him, and I'm actually going to be working with him here soon. So I'm planning on, hopefully, for the future of the channel, I'm going to try to get an interview with Russ. I'm going to try to get him out here. We can do some pipe welding with him and whatnot. And I'm going to try to get my old instructor out here to do a career interview. He's got some stuff he has to deal with because he works for the college and whatnot. If they'll let him even be interviewed for my YouTube channel or not, I'll talk to him and figure that out. But thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and check out all my other videos. I got lots of great videos. You know, there's all sorts of good stuff. And be sure to check out my friend Noah's channel, Noah's Welding. He should be featured on my main page. Check him out. He's a cool dude. Me and him do videos together all the time. But thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a fantastic day.